All right, we are live and welcome back to the show. Welcome back to From the Nosebleeds. I am your host Tyrell, and boy, oh boy, what a tough loss. This is the fourth edition, fourth installment for live reaction of a post game for the Cleveland Browns, and the Browns went ahead and just crapped all over the bed against the Detroit Lions 34-10. All right. So Browns fall down to 1-3. The Lions improved to 3-1. And yeah, this was a tough game to watch. This is a very tough game. So we're gonna go over the positives, go over the negatives, go over the stars of the game because there are stars of the game, and what I think what the Browns need to do. Um, this was a I don't know if you can call this a tough loss. I just think this was everything that was wrong with the Browns is essentially what happened in this game. Like everything wrong with the Browns. Like the Browns cannot find a way to hide some of their flaws. Like there are like every team has flaws, right? But like the Browns just they just shit the bed. Let's be honest here. They like their flaws are there are so many flaws, there are so many negatives with the Cleveland Browns that it's it's like it's never ending. It's never ending with this organization. It's never ending with this organization. But before we get into the Cleveland Browns game, do want to say again, welcome to everybody. If this is your first time here, welcome. We do this every week, and this is the fourth installment of this. So let's go over the scores that happened throughout the game. I got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens in the background over here. Is looking like a statement win for the Kansas City Chiefs. So let's go over the scores of this week, and then we'll talk about the Cleveland Browns. So earlier today at 9:30, if anybody woke up to watch that game outside of Pittsburgh and Minnesota, the Pittsburgh Steelers took care of business against the Vikings, 24-21. The Buffalo Bills took care of business against the New Orleans Saints, even though they looked like they played down to their competition. I would know more once I watch the tape. But they win 31-19. I remember being high about New Orleans possibly winning. If New Orleans was half as good as they was a decent team, they would have won this game. But nonetheless, Buffalo wins 31-19. The Texans shut out the Titans 26-0. Falcons pulled off the win against the Washington Commanders 34-27. The Philadelphia Eagles scave off and hold off the comeback attempt of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 31-25. The New England Patriots put belt to ass on the Carolina Panthers 42-13. The New York Giants surprises and makes the upset of the beating the Los Angeles Chargers 21-18. A lot of people had a feeling they were going to lose the game. The 4 o'clock games that's going on right now, the Rams and the Colts. The Colts just took the lead against the Rams. And just said, it must have got called back. Penalty. Yes, it did get called back. So they got a 53-yard touchdown. But it was nullified by a holding penalty. So it is 20-20 with 2 minutes left to go between the Colts and the Los Angeles Rams. And the Colts are kind of proving that this is not a fraudulent team. They are starting to look the best team out of the AFC South. The Jacksonville Jaguars going against the San Francisco 49ers with about 9 minutes and 54 seconds left to go with a 26-14 lead over the 49ers. The Raiders had holding a 5-point edge against the Chicago Bears, 21-16, and the Chiefs looking to make a statement win against the Baltimore Ravens, 30-13. So let's get into the Browns game. I thought the Browns played a good first half, or first drive on defense and on offense. They was able to get a good stop on defense, was able to score down the field for a touchdown, which ended up being a 33. No, it was a 1 yard run to Judkins on the fourth down after they tried to sneak it in a couple of times with Joe Flacco. They finally gave it to Judkins. Finally, some damn sense, into the Browns organization. But nonetheless, they get a touchdown off Judkins. They lead 7-0, and that's pretty much the game for the Cleveland Browns. That's pretty much it. The Stefanski special was in full effect. where it looks like this team game plan, it looked like this team prepared, it looked like this team was ready to go on that first drive, and then everything else is just like, let's just throw some shit at the wall and hope that it works. Okay, so the Kevin Stefanski special worked here. They was able to lead 7-0, but Detroit was able to come right back. Gibbs was able to get a good run, which ended up being a triple penalty by Grant Delpit. I thought that was a smart penalty because Gibbs probably would have took it to the house, but nonetheless, was able to get that. Denzel Ward got a defensive penalty, and then Gibbs run it in for 8 yards for a touchdown, 6 play drive there. Again, the Browns, when they score touchdowns, they can't score touchdowns quick. I think a lot of people are not pointing that out, that the Cleveland Browns cannot score like touchdowns on like single digit drives, right? Like they take 11, 12, 13, 14 drives, 14 14 play drives, and they chew off a lot of clock. Like their touchdown drive, their only touchdown drive of the game, they chewed off 7 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock off of a 13 play drive. We know about the Flacco interception. It was two people running crossing routes, and like I'm trying to understand like the first Flacco interception. We're not gonna talk about the second one first. We're gonna talk about the first. We're gonna go in order. I'm trying to understand who's supposed to be over there where Joseph got the interception. I'm trying to understand, like, was it supposed to be Jerry Judy? Or not Jerry Judy? Was it supposed to be Cedric Tillman? Was it supposed to be Fannin? Because Jerry Judy and Fannin ran two crossing routes. And did Cedric just like get jammed up? And I don't know, that like the interception was bad, right? And before we continue on the sequences of the game, um, Joe Flacco. I'm trying to give Flacco like some leeway here, and I don't know why I'm trying to give leeway to Flacco here. But like that interception was like everything I try to defend to this dude, like just in a sense of, it's the offense line, or it's because we don't have a number one, or we don't have a number two wide receiver. Isaiah Bond looked fantastic for what he was able to go out there and do. I know he had I think he had like one drop or something like that, but that was barely anything. Like he made an excellent catch like in the third, fourth quarter. Um, he looked great on the screens. He looked great. Was like Isaiah Bond is a playmaker. Like I like what I'm seeing out of Isaiah Bond. The issue is that the Browns don't have wide receivers, and this interception it was like proof of it. Like nobody, like what the French toast was going on that interception, right? Like I don't think nobody who, hell, even Lions fans, I don't think they could compute. Like they're happy about it, but I don't think they can compute like what that was, right? Like genuinely, like it was like Flacco was throwing it like intentionally to Joseph. Like Joseph ran the route better, he knew the play better, and made the interception better, and made sure he got both feet in. That led to a 48-yard field goal by Jake Bates. Um, the Browns was trying to get Judkins more into the passing game here, not just having him as just a runner. They did a flip screen to Judkins. But I put in this, like, as we got into the second quarter, like offense just played like shit. Like we got the Kevin Stefanski special, and then the offense just played like what the offense does, right? And it's like, how many times do we have to sit here and watch paint dry as an offense, right? How many times do we have to sit here and watch this special teams not be special, right? And trust me, later in this life, I'm going to go on about Ray Vitrone. Like he likes to be called Bubba. I'm not calling you Bubba. You want to be called Bubba? You like to be called Bubba? I would like to see you coach. I would like to see a competent special teams. Okay. And then we're not just talking about the punt return. The special teams has been a problem since Mike Prefer left this team. It has been a massive problem for this team. And there has to be an, like, we have to issue this. Like we have to issue this. I said I was gonna hold off on it. I'm not holding off on this. Okay. Ray Vitrone has got to go. And I know I say that a lot, like with the coaching staff, with Stefanski and Paul DePodesta, but let's focus strictly on Ray Vitrone, right? Let's talk about Carter muffing the ball, right? And it's like on one end, I can't blame Carter for that because 37 is getting like pushed into him, but that is a coaching thing, right? The inability to block, guard, whatever you want to call it, the opposing team's gunners, right? The inability to make simple blocking plays for our punt and kick returners. Like a lot of the time we get kickoff returns, we're inside of our 30. We don't get past the 30. We don't get past 35-yard line to the point where like it's coming more common throughout the league, but especially against the Cleveland Browns, more teams are kicking it shorter compared to everybody else because they know that the Browns special team has no ability whatsoever to make key blocks on special teams to give ourselves the field of possession advantage. They just know that. And with this new kickoff rule, where everybody's pretty much starting in the exact same position, right? With this kickoff rule that they adopted from the XFL, that they adopted from the UFL, a kickoff rule that I have been, with this being the first year of this channel, I have been privately animated about loving this kickoff rule. It's safer, it's more exciting, and I think a lot of people are finally starting to catch on to this because we're starting to see the results of this kickoff rule in the NFL. They've been doing this for the XFL for the last 5 years, the UFL for the last 5 years, and I loved it when I first heard it, when I first saw it in action. I love it. That being said, Ray Vitrone cannot coach this special teams, right? We can get into Schmidt missing a 56-yard field goal. That's a tough field goal. Like he drilled it last week. He kind of get it past this week because he hit his extra point. It's tough to hit a 56-yarder on a consistent basis. I would love to see him hit a 56-yarder on a consistent basis, but I'm not gonna get mad at Schmidt. I am gonna get mad at that we can't block our gunners, that our players get pushed back into our returners to the point where our returners cannot focus on securing and bringing in the ball to the point where every single time we get a punt, we are fair catching. We are fair catching because there are no blockers to block the gunners. It don't even be gunners down the field sometimes. It be the other units that be down the field. It'd be like the punt team's offensive line down the field by the time we catch the ball. So it's like, where's our scheme? Where's our blocking schemes at, right? Like, what is going on with the Cleveland Browns? And this goes down to coaching, like how we can't protect our punt returners, how we are getting bullied into position on both sides of the special teams, like special teams offense and special team defense. We get bullied, like just all the way around. And you got to feel bad for this defense, right? Because they have to sit here and try to make up for an incompetent offense and a shit special teams, right? They have to make up for this. Like special teams last week against the Green Bay Packers, they showed up when it mattered the most, right? The block field goal, making the field goals when it mattered the most with Schmidt, it drilling the game winning field goal, right? And the block field goal, like this special team showed up. But like this week was exactly what this special teams unit is 99.9% of the time. It is bullied, it is bad, it is undisciplined, it is uncoached, and I am trying to figure out what the hell does Bubba Vitrone do in that locker room? What does he do in that practice field week in and week out? Like special teams is a very coach type of thing. I'm not saying that about the offensive defense, but special teams literally, as we saw in this game, as we see in a lot of games that a lot of people overlook, special teams make and break the game outside of in the trenches. Like to me, it goes in the trenches one, special teams two. Because special teams, right? Special teams control the field. They control, like if you're punting, if you got an excellent punter, it controls where the opposing team starts. If you got a good returner, it benefits you, right? Special teams is very beneficial in controlling the field, which is one of the key points of winning any game, almost any game. Controlling the field, controlling the clock, right? So we know that about special teams. And then obviously you got your kickers, hitting, extra points or, hitting game winning field goals or hitting field goals in general, right? But like most of special teams is controlling the field. Got a great punter that can punt it with inside the 20 or can get good hang time where your gunners can get down there. Cool. You got a kicker that can make kicks. Cool. Like special teams is a very overlooked, but a very tedious point of any football team. And the fact that we have a completely incompetent, a completely, let's be honest here, disgraceful special teams unit. And I don't even think it's necessarily the talent. I think it's Bubba Patron because this has been a problem since Bubba has gotten here, since Ray Patron. Fuck that Bubba shit. Coach, and I'll call you Bubba. Ray Patron, since Ray Patron got here, this has not been a good special teams unit. I don't know why they got rid of Mike Prefer. I hated that the fact they got rid of Mike Prefer because he was to me the best coordinator out of Van Pelt and out of Joe Woods, but they let him go. They let him walk somewhere else. And this is the result of having a bad coordinator in a key position, right? And Tommy Reese, I said it like when we talked about this in the preview. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I give him slack because he's not making the play calls. I don't even know what the hell Tommy Reese does because Kevin Stefanski is in control of all of that. He's in control of all of it. So what the hell does Tommy Reese does? What is the point of having an offensive coordinator when he don't design the plays, when he don't come up with the game plan, and he doesn't even call the plays? So what is the point of having an offensive coordinator? I feel bad for this defense because once again, despite the fact that this defense was playing Sonic and Knuckles, Gibbs and Montgomery, they did absolutely well. And yes, the Lions offensive coordinator saying they never seen a run game like ours before. I didn't take it as disrespect. I took it as, as a challenge for his running backs. I also saw it as a challenge to our defensive unit, right? They played good, right? Like Gibbs is so fast and so explosive and so strong, right? But like to contain him to what we contain him, to contain Montgomery to just 12 yards. Again, this front seven, like granted, we weren't able to get a lot of pressure on the quarterbacks today. It was like that is a testament to the Lions offensive line and how great that offensive line is. Like I would sit back and admit that that is a very overlooked offensive line. This is a very good offensive line. Like how they was able to not only contain but essentially make Myles Garrett into a non-factor is very equivalent to what the Browns did this week against Micah Parsons, right? And they pretty much just showed teams that this is what you need to do to contain or to slow down Myles. Myles Garrett was having a great season over the first 3 weeks, very explosive, and with 4 sacks on the year already. And I don't did he get he might have got maybe one or two pressures, but like they double teamed him, and when they didn't double team him, like they was able to chip him. They was able to like contain the inside to where like okay, you got a blocker that's guarding him well on the outside. So usually Garrett like to come into the inside pause, but they had the guard right there ready for that. Or like they would like when the play started, Garrett would like go in the rush, and then the running back would hit him before he making his route, or another tight end would do a simple block and release against Myles Garrett. Like they contain Myles Garrett, and it shows that although this this um this team and although this front seven, which I have praised as being one of the best front sevens in the entire league, which I will still stand by that, and despite this game, like as far as not getting to the quarterback the way they like. Myles Garrett, it just shows that what impact Myles Garrett truly has. Like Myles Garrett is such a difference maker, and it makes everybody else around him better. So when you got a guy or we got a team that can take Myles Garrett and just essentially take him out of the game, just take him out the game. Don't have to worry about nothing. Don't have to worry about him making 2-3 sacks, making pressures, anything like that. Like genuinely take him out of the game. That is something that is not done often, even by the teams that play him twice a year. Like Baltimore is not good at doing that. Pittsburgh's not good at doing that. Cincinnati is damn sure not good at. Cincinnati's not even close to doing that. But the Lions had the blueprint. They showed you the blueprint on how to do. So I wonder how many teams are going to look at this film and see how they attack. With not only because usually most of these teams they'll double him or they'll trust their left tackle, go one-on-one with them. But it didn't matter where Myles Garrett was on this field. It didn't matter if he was on the left or the right side of the field. He was contained by this Detroit offensive line. Like they were aggressive. They were absolutely aggressive with this defensive line, especially when it came to Myles Garrett. They didn't care what Alex Wright did. They didn't care what Collins did. They didn't care what Mason Graham did. They were so locked in on Myles Garrett that the other guys on this team, when it came to the pass rush, that the other guys could not handle their business and do what they were supposed to do. They just weren't able to do it. I like Collins a lot. Collins is I like him. He's big, he's athletic, he's strong, and like and quick and nimble too. Like dude got to be like 300 pounds, like 6'3", 6'4", 300 some pounds, and he's so quick and nimble, so quick and nimble. Um, we played Javante Williams well. I think we played. I say our cornerbacks did good. Like the Lions have a lot of speed on their team, especially when it comes to like the skill play. Like the skill players are so fast, right? But like did a good job with St. Brown, like for the most part. Like St. Brown, when you're playing like St. Brown, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, like if you can like or Jamar Chase, if you can like contain them at best, that's a win in my book. But I thought they did good. They did good against Williams. I think Williams only had one catch. We'll go over the stats. Judkins is so good at finding running lanes, but this team, and they got studs. They got studs, man. They got studs with Fannin and Joku. Um, Judkins. They should get Dylan Sampson more involved. I am so sick and tired of seeing Jerome Ford. Like Jerome Ford is not the guy. He's not. He shouldn't even be the number two. At best, he should be coming in like a 3rd and 14 to be an extra blocker. Like that's Ford at best. But Ford as a as a secondary running back to come in and fill the void for Judkins when he's tired, he's not the guy. I would love to see Sampson more involved in his offense, kind of like how they had him in week 1. But Ford is not the guy. Then let's talk about the second interception of the game by Joe Flacco. Um, let's see. You know what? No, let's talk about this. Jeffrey said, "I got to defend Ford. Did you see the block, the chip block on Hutchinson, and then Hutchinson was down on the ground? Yes, like Ford is good at at pass protection. Like he's a excellent running back when it comes to pass protection. But that's not what all running backs do. Like you're a running back. He's not good at running the ball. He's not good at catching out of the backfield. But if you need somebody to come in, like I said, if you need somebody to come in and be that extra blocker to stop at Aiden Hutchinson or to stop a Micah Parsons or to stop a TJ Watt or to slow him down at least or whatever it may be, Ford is your guy. Like I would bring in Ford on a 3rd and 7 or a 3rd and 14. You need a first down. You're gonna pass the ball deep. You need to buy a little extra time. Jerome Ford is guy I will bring in. But as a guy that can come in and be a utility back to be that second running back, no, he's not that good. He's not a good runner. He's not an explosive runner. He's not a strong runner. He's not a good pass catcher. Like he's just not that good. Like we need talent on this team. There's talent on this team, but we need more talent on this team. And he's not the guy. Like I would trade him while he still is somewhat of an asset. Like his trade value from 2 years ago is not the same. It's not strong. It's actually gotten worse. Like I would say in 2023, you probably would have got a 3rd round out of him and they would have traded him in the 2023, 2024 off season, right? But they don't have like he doesn't have that trade value anymore. So if you can get a 6th rounder for him to like let's say a Jacksonville or Houston or even like or Tennessee or something like that. If you get a 6th rounder out of them, like cool. I would take that trade immediately. So now let's talk about the second interception. This was like not only was dude holding him, but like he pushed Jerry Judy down. This is like a play where I'm looking at Jerry Judy. I'm looking at this and I'm watching this with my brother, and I'm like, we just both looked at each other like, this is like a clear pass interference or a defensive holding. And not only was there like no flag, but then they reviewed it to make sure he caught it and wasn't down by contact. And they just confirmed everything. And it's like, yeah, they're not gonna look at the review to see if he did anything because that's not a thing. But like, damn, dude, like y'all just did nobody just see that he was holding the back of his jersey, pulling on him, and then like pushed him down as he was going for the interception. It was a clear, blatant pass interference. I don't blame Flacco for making that throw, but Flacco threw his second interception. Um, also put, and this is I can't keep saying this enough. This defense cannot keep carrying this freaking team. This defense cannot keep doing it. Like, can you just imagine? Like you're trying to move a couch, and the two people help you move a couch. Like okay, me, I'm 29 years old, right? I would say like I'm starting to work out. I'm getting a little stronger, but I have natural strength. I can't imagine or fathom like carrying a couch and the person that's helping me is a 10-year-old boy. Like I might as well just carry the couch by myself at this point. Can you just imagine it? Or imagine just like I don't know, like trying to measure out something where there's supposed to be two people there, but help is a toddler. Like, yeah, you're in the room, but you're like, you can't help me out in this situation. That's what this defense is. Like, they are the grown person in a room full of children that can't help out in the situation. So for anybody that would sit back and say, "Oh, this defense sucks," how many times do the defense have to battle teams inside their own 30-yard line? Inside their own 30-yard line. How many times they have to do that? Or in a goal line situation. In a goal line situation. And they still stop Detroit on two plays before Jared Goff threw it for St. Brown for his one of two touchdown catches. Undisciplined team, uninspiring. And at first, it was like, in the first half, it was like, okay, but the offensive line is still doing a decent job at Aiden Hutchinson. Boy, did that change. Did that change in that second half? Then Bates proceeded to Myles Garrett jumped on sides. That's his one per game. We always call it out. And then Detroit got the ball back at the end of right before halftime, was able to kick a 50-yard field goal. Jake Bates. Browns are down 20-7 at halftime. So, pretty much game is over. Fannie made a good catch. Defensive holding, saved a strip stack fumble. I think Aiden Hutchinson was a part of that. Um, you can't do much with Flacco having 2.5 seconds back there, right? So this is for all the people clamoring for a quarterback change, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders. And I'm going to say this again. I've been saying this since week 1. I said it 2, 3, 4, and this is continuing on. 1, you can't do a lot when a lot of plays, your offensive line is giving you under 3 seconds to throw the ball. And mind you, we're keeping our running backs back there, whether it's Judkins or for it to be extra blockers, right? And they still can't do a good job. Like this offensive line is just old, right? Batonio's 35. Teller, I believe, turns 30 this year, in the middle of the season. Cornelius Lucas is 34 years old. Like 3 guys that are 30 and over. It's just like unacceptable. And Teller's not the same player that he was a few years ago because of all the injuries. So this offensive line is bad. This wide receiver room outside of, and this is crazy to say as a freaking rookie, right? But outside of Isaiah Bond, there is no good wide receiver in this room. There's none. Cedric Tillman. Now you got Cedric Tillman out with a hamstring injury. We don't know if he's going to play in London next week. Like, I got to wake up and watch this team. I just thought about that. I got to wake up and watch this team at 9:30 in the freaking morning. This team, I might just stay asleep. But we're going to watch anyway for the sake of the Browns. And for the sake of you guys watch him. So why would I put a rookie quarterback in a situation where there's no offense line and no wide receiver? Like Cam Ward is in a better position than any of the 2 rookies on this team. Like, yes, does Tennessee offensive line suck? Absolutely. But at least like Tennessee has Calvin Ridley. At least Tennessee has Tony Pollard to be an additional pass catcher. Like, yes, we have Harold Fannin. Yes, we have Njoku, but we don't have an X factor or even a Y factor wide receiver on this team. There is no true X. There is no true Y. There is barely a Z wide receiver. They are not good wide receivers. They're not good whatsoever. So I'm trying to figure out, as I'm trying to figure out what's going on in my eye, like what is going on with all these people thinking that it is strictly Flacco. It is not just strictly Flacco. Would I say Flacco has been playing good? Absolutely not. But I think he would play better if he had the receivers. I think he would play better if he had an offensive line that was decent enough. There's an eyelash in my eye. I'm not sure, but I think he will play better, but he can't. He can't. There is no, my brother turned to me and asked me, he said, or even just said this. He goes, so can we sit here and admit that the 2023 Joe Flacco season was, or, 7 game stretch, however long that game stretch was an absolute fluke. And I turned to him, I went, well, Flacco's also 2 years older. But as on the drive home, I'm like, well, there is no Amari Cooper on this team. Like, there is no Amari Cooper to make everybody else in the wide receiver room better, to make our tight ends look better. Like, when a team can come in and they know that they can focus on our tight ends because they're not worried or concerned about our wide receivers, that is a problem. I know Fannin had like two drops in this game, right? The one he couldn't locate the ball, the other one was just a straight drop. But for a mid-round rookie pick, they're asking a lot from Fannin. Like, they're asking a shit ton from Fannin. Whether they initially thought that was going to happen or not, they're asking a shit ton from Fannin. And Fannin has like stepped up to the plate, right? Like, Fannin truly stepped up to the plate and like freaking show. My eye is irritating the crap out of me right now. Perfect timing, right? But Fannin has shown that, Jesus Christ, my freaking eye. I think I got an eyelash in here. All right. Okay. Fannin has done a lot for this team. Freaking eyes throwing me off. I can't stand it right now. Um. So yeah, he's done a lot, and he's been asked to do a lot, and he has overall delivered and stepped up to the plate. So Fannin gets passes for like the drops for now. Like, if this is like year 3 or 4 and he continues to make these drops, then we got problems, right? But I'm gonna give Fannin leeway. I'm not giving Jerry Jeudy leeway. Like, Jerry Judy's in like what, his 5th, 6th year in the league, and he's making drops. He's making like Jerry McDrops is back in full swing, right? Like, he just keep like, even like the passes that weren't necessarily the best passes, like, so you get your hands on it, you got to get your hands on it. Like, he just keeps making these drops. I wish they get Isaiah Bond more into this offense because he is just so good, but he's barely out on that field. But I wish they get him more involved. Quinshawn is good at making 1-yard runs into 5-yard runs. Schmidt would end up hitting a field goal on an 8-play drive, make it 20-10. Miles Harden, I thought, played good against Williams. I thought Greg played good against Williams. Flacco was consistently under pressure. Bond was making good catches throughout this game, not just on screen routes, but his route running is so good. His route running is getting so much better. And I wonder, and I know I hear a lot of people talk about Chad O'Shea, our wide receivers coach, being fired because look at our wide receivers. I'm starting to see that our wide receiver coach is trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and the only one that's catching on is Isaiah Bond. Schmidt would end up missing a 56-yard field goal in the third quarter. And that was pretty much it for the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Detroit, when it was still a 20-10 game, still a game at this point, Detroit tried to go for it on the 4th and 2. And this is where this run defense does so well. And when I say this run defense, I talk about our front seven a lot, but like our defensive backs are so good at helping out with the run game, right? They don't just wait at the second level. Like, they come in and attack just as much as anybody else. And I know they had a more of a difficult time than usual because St. Brown can guard. Is a good run blocker as well. Like they have, like Detroit had so much to combat what we do so well, right? Like they have this strong offensive line. They have strong wide receivers that are good at making run blocks, right? And we still did a good job against the run game. I don't. This run defense is amazing, but they try to contain it. They try to secure the edge. Detroit tried to secure the edge, and Cleveland was right there to contain it and close that edge out, and was able to push Gibbs out of bounds and not get them that first down. This is where one of two drops by Fannin where he lost the ball, and then the Jerry Judy in mid-season just he just straight up dropped the ball, just straight up dropped the ball, and that led to the 65-yard punt return by Khalif Raymond. I think I pronounced his first name correct. And again, it's like I get that you want to try to close him in on the sideline, but there was like nobody like there to like cover that second level. Like there was nobody. Again, this is coaching. This is coaching. Like if you got guys, if your goal is to like, contain Raymond to the sideline, right? To the left sideline, like to contain him, just like keep him there so we can push him out of bounds or trap him in there. And he breaks out. Why don't we have guys back there? Now we got to rely on Bjorkes, which, by the way, just in my opinion, just gave up on the play. Like, didn't try to dive, didn't like I get it. You're not fast, you're the punter, right? But like, you could tell Bjorkes was like running full speed. He felt like he didn't have the angle and he just stopped. Like, no effort. That's coaching. That effort shit is coaching. At the NFL level, when that effort is not there, that is coaching. When you don't have the correct angles on special teams, that's freaking coaching. That's coaching. Ray Patron gotta fucking go. Bad angles, bad block schemes, can't get the gunners, can't do shit. Can't do it. They can't do it because this idiot is our freaking team's coordinator. He's got to go. Bjorkes giving up on the play. I get it. You're a punter. You're not fast. Hell, I wouldn't catch him. I'm an athletic Neanderthal fuck, okay? But damn, I'm going to die for his feet. I'm going to fucking try. This is coaching. Bjorkes not trying. They can't. They trying to trap him. They trying to trap Raymond to the sideline. They can't even do that. They can't get this motherfucker out of bounds. They can't do it. They can't break blocks. They don't have nobody at the second level. Raymond was just free to go. Just sucked the wind out of the entire team. Just great job. Great, superb job by Ray Patron and his special teams. Why is that man even on the bus? Why is he on the plane? He needs to go home and not in Cleveland. But bad angles. This has been a problem. Oh my goodness. This has been a problem since the very beginning. Since really, fuck that. Since not even the beginning of this year. Since Ray Patron has gotten here. I didn't like it when we hired him. I was like, why are we firing Prefer? This shows you how special, no pun intended, how special Prefer was, how important Mike Prefer was. Remember, Mike Prefer, not Kevin Stefanski. Remember, Mike Prefer won us the playoff game. Mike Prefer is one of the most respected special team coordinators in the entire league, in the entire game of football. And we just let him go because he was the problem. But then come on. It's like getting a burger from a gourmet burger spot that's actually highly rated, like a Michelin star burger spot, and then going down to a Burger King burger. That is what Ray Patron is. He is the Burger King burger. Nasty, trash, disgusting, but he's just there out of sheer convenience, and you kind of need him there. But can't do it. Then the strip sack by Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson had like 9-10 pressures in this game. St. Brown with an 8-yard touchdown pass off the screen. Detroit scored 17 points off of turnovers. 17 points off of turnovers. The Browns got 1 turnover, scored 3. They scored 3. Drop my phone on that BS. They bring in Gabriel. As if Gabriel gets in that garbage time. It's garbage time, for fuck's sake. Everybody's, Gabriel's coming in. Not everybody, one of the articles, more quarterback controversy for the Browns now that he sub Joe Flacco out for Gabriel. And yeah, that shows me you didn't watch the game because they subbed him out with 2 minutes left. in the game. Who gave a shit, right? Second team was in for both teams. Kyle Allen came in at quarterback. Stefanski's seat should be hotter than what the fuck it is. But Ray, Bubba, whatever the French toast titty fuck you want to call Vertron, gotta go. His seat should be engulfed in flames. Tommy Reese, I don't like him personally, but at the NFL level, is undecided because he's not in charge of the game plan. He's not in charge of anything other than just to sit there on a microphone and talk about God knows what. That's what he's there for. But the Cleveland Browns just absolutely shit the bed. As I look at Oakland going for a 54-yard field goal attempt to possibly win the game, they're down by 1, and it got blocked. It got blocked in Chicago. Chicago is going to walk away with the win. Unreal. Blocked field goal to end the game. And look how many Bears fans are in Las Vegas. This is why they need to be in Oakland. I wish I could show you guys this. 54-yard field goal that would have won them the game. And Chicago is going to walk out with the win 25-24. Look at this again. Chicago Bear player came off the edge. Number 39 for Chicago made the key block. And Chicago is going to walk away with the win. I just happened to look over and see what was going on. And 2 bad starts by Chicago, but now 2-2. 2-2 on the year at the start of 0-2. So let's go over the Brown stats. Let's go over Detroit stats. Detroit Lions stats. Joe Flacco, 16-34, 184, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, got sacked 3 times. Judkins, 21 carries, 82 yards, a tutty. Isaiah Bond, 3 catches. When your rookie wide receiver is your leading wide receiver and you didn't draft him at all, we got problems in that wide receiver room. Jerry Jeudy fucking sucks. He's not a true number 1. Bond, 3 catches, 58 yards. Jerry McDrops, 3 catches, 48 yards. Judkins, 4 catches, 33 yards. Fannin, 2 catches, 24 yards, 2 catches for Njoku. Cedric Tillman left the game early. Schmidt, 1 or 2. Hit a 33-yarder, mixed a 56-yarder. Bjorquez, I want you to listen to our punter stats. 7 punts, 314 yards. Bjorquez, our punter, had more yards than passing yards by our quarterbacks. It don't matter who it would have been. Look at the Lions. Jared Goff, 16-27, 168, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And now that I sit here and think about it, I don't even think this pass defense outside of Baltimore, anybody has passed for over 250 yards. Joe Burrow passed for 111. Jordan Love passed for like $116 or something like that. And Jared Goff. Yeah, Jordan Love passed for 183. Jared Goff for 168. Lamar Jackson had 225. And Joe Burrow had like 113. So this pass defense, right? They're not even allowing any quarterback to throw for over 250 yards. Not a single one. Not a single quarterback so far has thrown for 250 or more yards against the Cleveland Browns' pass defense, and only one has thrown for over 200 yards. Gibbs, 15 carries, 91 yards. 15 carries, 91 yards. And all things considered with Gibbs, that's containing him, right? Montgomery only had 9 carries, 12 yards. Again, this defense, man, so good. Like first time they gave up over 45 yards for a running back, right? So it was the most that he had against in the season so far, but still, considering how good Gibbs really is, considering how good he really is, how fast and explosive he is, I think overall they did a great job against him. All things considered. All things considered. Because even Montgomery had 12 carries, 151 yards, 2 tutties last week against Baltimore. That didn't happen. St. Brown, 7 catches, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like I said, the 2 touchdowns came off of short fields by the Detroit Lions. Grading turnovers, getting great field position. That's what it was. That's what it was. So the Browns lose 34-10. They get the travel across the pond. I don't know what London did. Maybe it was because the Queen lived too long. Maybe because they got King Charles right there. Whatever the case may be. Whatever the case may be. But as their punishment on their shitty cuisine, on their split peas and sardines, they get to watch the Cleveland Browns play football for 60 minutes. God save the king. So let's go over Kevin Stefanski's press conference. Let's go over and let's talk about and review it. We'll go over the comment sessions and then we'll pretty much be out of here. But let's go over the afternoon game scores before we get to Kevin Stefanski talking about a bunch of mess and hearing a bunch of stupid questions by the Cleveland media. Here, Jacksonville was able to hold off against the San Francisco 49ers 26-21. The Los Angeles Rams beat the Indianapolis Colts 27-20 with Tutu Atwell making a 88-yard completion, deep pass from Matthew Stafford. Daniel Jones, 262 yards, one tutty, two interceptions. Stafford, 375, three tutties in that game as well. Jonathan Taylor had a huge 53-yard run that got called back for a holding penalty, 17 carries, 66 yards. The Baltimore Ravens lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes becomes the youngest quarterback in NFL history to throw for 250 touchdown passes. So the Kansas City Chiefs looking like they're right back to business. They improved to 2-2. The Baltimore Ravens sliding down to 1-3. So we know when the power rankings video comes out Thursday at 12 o'clock, make sure y'all subscribe and put the notification bell for that. When that video comes out, Baltimore is going to be sliding out of the top 10 for sure. Patricia Mahomes, as I like to call him, Patrick Mahomes, 25 of 37, 274 tutties. Lamar Jackson, 14 of 20, 147, a touchdown and interception. So Lamar Jackson just sold me in my fantasy. Peshko, they don't run the ball. Who cares? So let's go over Kevin Stefanski's press conference, and then we will read the comments and just discuss anything coming up later on for the channel. Let's see. I want to say fair use, fair use, fair use. Don't come at me as we are reviewing it. I say fair use a lot because I want to make sure it's fair use so this video does not get taken down. Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use.
Okay, obviously didn't do the things necessary to beat a good team on the road. That's for me and for our players and everybody. It's tough.
Okay, I'm going to shut it off right there 10 seconds in. It's frustrating for the base. This is not just the road. This is at home. The road, hell, we go overseas, and it's going to be frustrating for the Londoners to watch. Get your fish and chips ready for that one.
Injuries wise, said Tillman has a hamstring injury. DeAndre Carter has a knee injury. I'll have more information over the next couple of days. But yeah, can't do those things and expect to beat a good team on the road. With that, I'll take any questions. Yeah, it's just it's frustrating, Mary Kay, because we know you can't do those things and expect to win on the road, and so I got to get it fixed.
I will say this about our defense real quick. The one thing I don't like about our defense is we don't have the best ability to create turnovers. Like we had an issue with that last year. It's carried over to Schwartz as more of a make the plays, make the tackles. But like when you have a bad offense like this, when you have a horrible special teams that's the way, like that was one of the reasons why we were able to beat Green Bay last week was because we won in the turnover battle. But with Baltimore got 3 off of us. Cincinnati got 2 turnovers off for us. Ravens, Cincinnati, and Detroit, 3 turnovers. Like our turnover differential is like horrible. It's like absolutely asinine how bad our turnover difference, our turnover ratio, whatever you want to call it, is like it has to be one of the worst in the league. It has to be. And I'm gonna do my research over here while this plays.
Yeah, we all share in those things. We all own it, and we all have to be better. I'm not going to get into those specifics, but obviously a miscommunication. Yeah, hard. I didn't have a good look at it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, obviously, when we struggle like we did on offense, obviously, Mary Kay, I understand the question, but that's not our focus.
Why? I mean, I just have to say, why isn't it focusing? It seems like every game, this offense shows 20 points, turning the ball over multiple times, having amazed. Why, obviously, it isn't all on the quarterback, but the quarterback is kind of central.
Yeah. Again, I respectfully, we didn't do enough on offense.
You say it's really like Joe just didn't get the help that he needed almost from the start. Picks.
I'm gonna pause it in the middle of the question, but doing my research here. So the Browns have already given up 8 this year. 8 giveaways. Now, last year, their turnover differential was minus 22. Minus 22. That is insane. And, obviously, we're going to have giveaways. You're going to have takeaways, right? But, like, when the discrepancy and the difference is that large, and this year, that was one of the main focus of we have to do better with our turnover differential. We have to do better at all of it. And turn around and already 4 games in to the season, you have a -6 turnover differential. I don't see this improving at all.
Issues and things like that. Is that one of the reasons why Joe supported moving forward with Joe, because he just didn't get it.
Yeah, again, I think part of this, Mary Kay, where we own this all together. To have success on any side of the ball, you have to play as one and you have to play together. And we had too many things that caused us not to have success.
But that has been the entire season so far. There's really been the last 2 years, right? And when you give up this many turnovers, it's like you getting takeaways, you give away more, you keep giving. When are you going to take? And they're not taking, and it puts the defense in a bind in the hole when you know that if this defense has a fair chance, not a lot of teams are making or even scoring on this defense at all, as we saw against the Green Bay Packers and the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, he's a very good. We had a plan that we need to do better. No, it's happening in practice. That's part of having precision, and that includes everything and everything you do. And we obviously have to clean that up.
Of course, it's not happening in practice. Practice is practice, right? Here's the thing. It matters in the game. We're not making these catches in the game. And this has been an issue last week. This was an issue the week before. This has been an issue since the very beginning. Drop passes. As we remember this on this stream, we talked about this on a consistent basis. Jerry Jeudy even mentioned it preparing for the Baltimore Ravens. Drop passes are doing us no good on top of the turnover differential, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, we have to be better. We have to be better in a lot of areas, and certainly we can't allow a punt return for a touchdown. That's really frustrating. That's not what we're coaching. That's certainly not how we're trying to cover and the techniques we're using. So that should again, give them credit, but we have to do a better job.
Again, how many times do we have to hear, like, Hugh Jackson's crutch was, I have to go look at the tape. And Stefanski does that sometimes too, right? But Stefanski's crutch is, we have to do better. We have to be better. When is better going to show up? We realize that better is not happening. That our better is not good enough. Coaching in a talent standpoint. And to Barry's credit, he addresses primarily with our front seven, right? And getting our running backs. But when are we going to address this? When is and go, this is not a bad contract. We need to get rid of it. We need to trade him. With Tillman and realize that Tillman is not a second option. When are we going to look at go? He's not a good skill player neither. And special teams and look at Ray Vitrone and his shitty coaching.
Good enough job. Anybody, Mary Kay, when you don't score points, so including myself.
I know you're asking about Cornelius, but you talk about Thomas and Tony, two backups out there playing against this kind of matchup.
We expect our guys that are out there to perform, and we got to make sure we put them in position.
Decisions governed by the fact that you have to go overseas, play in London against the Vikings team. I mean, is that determined?
Yeah, I think for me, Mary Kay, I'm just focused on this game right now. I can't. Got to look at the tape of this one first.
The one dumb question of the Cleveland media. We're going to start keeping a tracker on this, especially once I get some better technology, because we just got to ask the stupid question. A week or 2 weeks ago was like, we just like, why would Stefanski or anybody on this team be focusing about London when we against Detroit in Detroit this already this week?
But you still believe that Joe gives this offense and this team the best chance to win over either?
Again, it's never going to be about one person. It's just not. And we're not doing a good enough job. I'll put myself in there as well. We have to be better.
For a bunch of tough spots, what do you see from the defense, particularly the run game you talked about?
And put them in some really tough spots there after turnovers. Outside of those, I thought they competed, outside of those scores, which is, again, putting them in a disadvantage where the ball is. But I thought we competed like crazy. We made enough plays. We just have to come through as a football team.
What can you say about Quinshon? He seems to be bright spot on offense. How do you say that?
Yeah, I think he continues to get better weekly. Mary Kay, I think every time he gets a new game plan and new understanding what we're doing and some different runs and those type of things, I just think he's going to keep getting better.
Was the intention early on trying to get him going a little bit so earlier to maybe take some of the force them to not be in their back as much?
Yeah, I think that's, every team kind of goes into it trying to make sure that they're having success on the ground, through the air. So that'll be really by each game for us. Yeah, just we didn't do a good enough job coaching players.
Do you feel like the problems that happened today, do you feel like they're
Yeah, I mean that's where we are as a football team. We're frustrated, but bottom line is we'll put together a plan this week and find a way.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
We'll find a way. So, okay, yeah, let's find a way to how we're gonna fuck this up even more. So, again, Cleveland Browns lose 34-10. Shocker. Right. Let's go over positives, negatives, and key players before we go over the comments. To me, positives: Judkins, Isaiah Bond, and our run defense, just our defense in general. They got put into a lot of disadvantages, but overall, defense is very good. They just do. This 34 points is going to go against them. When 7 went to the special teams, the other one can't do nothing when you're starting in the other team is starting in the red zone. I'm talking about at the goal line and all that other stuff. Negatives: Stefanski and Ray Vitrone, the offense, special teams, and Ray Vitrone. Can't stress enough. Ray Vitrone, turnovers in our offensive line. 3 stars of the game goes to Isaiah Bond, Quinshon Judkins, in our front 7. So let's go to the comment section right here. What up, David? What up? Good friend of mine. Shout out to him. Another week under 20. Hell, scoring under our scoring average of a measly 16 per game. Absolutely. And I think it's even under 16. So I think it's about 13, maybe it might have creeped up to 14 points per game over this last 23 games. But we cannot score whatsoever. This is not just I think we're starting to realize that this is not just a Deshaun Watson thing. This is not just a Joe Flacco thing. I don't think this would be just a Dylan Gabriel or Shador thing. This is a coaching Kevin Stefanski thing. Like, this is what this is. Like, we cannot produce anything on both on the offensive side of the ball. Like, this offense is lackluster. It's lazy. It's basic. It's predictable. It's uninspiring. It's stuck in the mud. It's stuck in quicksand. Whatever you want to call it, right? Like, this offense is just downright bad. Good news. Isaiah Bond looked good. Yes, he did. Jeffrey, first interception. I thought he was just trying to throw it away. No, he just plain on like just threw it up there and said, "Fuck it." Joseph's down there somewhere. I know I have defended Kevin and Barry, but they need to go. The only one I'm keeping is Jim Schwartz. Yes, the only one I would keep is Jim Schwartz. Barry with this draft has had some saving grace with me, especially with him being able to restructure contracts, was able to make he finds a way to make our bad cap situation cap friendly for both the short term and long term game. But they are married to each other. Stefanski and Barry are married to each other. So if you get rid of Stefanski, you have to get rid of Andrew Barry. I did mention out. I did read that comment. Yep, that was definitely Yep, the second interception by Flacco was pass interference. Everyone keeps saying change the quarterback. Change the quarterback is not going to do anything. It's not. And then sign Josh Gordon, he'll light it up. Yes, Josh Gordon will light it up in today's NFL. But yeah, like I said, changing the quarterback is not going to do anything when you don't have a number one, you don't have a number two, you don't have X factor wide receivers. You have to rely on your tight ends so much so that everybody else around the league are focusing on the tight ends. Our special team is bad. Our offensive line is bad. Our just all around, like if it's not the defense is bad, it's just horrible. So who knows if they get blown out against Minnesota, which is a high possibility. Like this game against Minnesota could turn into another Cincinnati Bengals game, just in a sense of like bad offense, bad special teams, and Minnesota being way more talented and superior than the Cleveland Browns. But I do think the Cleveland Browns have a shot to win this game, but time will tell, right? We can see, but like the way they played, like this game, the Baltimore game, like these two games were one and the same to me. Like if they play like they did against Cincinnati and Green Bay, we might have a chance. But if we play against like how we did against Baltimore and Detroit, there's no chance in hell, right? So time will tell with this. I don't have high faith. I was pretty sky high on the Packers win. I thought maybe we have a chance to beat Detroit Lions. I should have known better. Every time I put expectations on this team, that's what happens. So again, final score 34-10 for the Cleveland Browns. This is the fourth. Please hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We're on the road to 100 subscribers. 100 subscribers. We are 14 away at the time of this recording. Let's get there. Power rankings video is coming out Thursday, 12 p.m. Set that notification. Thursday, 12 p.m. Matter of fact, every power ranking videos will be released at 12 p.m. I record them Wednesday night. They get released on Thursday morning. So Thursday morning, 12 p.m. Make sure you tune in to the power rankings and share those as well. Stay the channel is coming up as well. Still working on the quarterback criteria because there's some things there's some loopholes that I found. I'm not liking it at all. But we got some more ideas coming. It'll get addressed in the state of the channel address. And thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for just peeking in. Thank you all for your unwavering support for the edition of this live stream. Depending on what my schedule looks like next week, we might be a little bit earlier than what we usually are because it's an early game next week. So until the Power Rankings video, this has been Tyrell from the Nosebleeds. Thank you all for joining the Nosebleed section. Signing off.